She smiled when she fired me. Smirked, even. Like she was tossing out trash. But 4 months later, she was the one being dragged out of the office. And me. I was sunbathing in Bali, sipping a drink, funded by the salary she thought she stole from me. If you've ever been underestimated, pushed around by a toxic boss, or punished for something totally personal and unfair, then this story is for you. Hit that like button, subscribe for more epic real-life revenge stories, and buckle up, because this one ends in poetic justice. Back in the early 2010s, I landed what I thought was my dream job. A content creator for a university that wanted to make waves on YouTube. It sounded exciting. Creative freedom. A pioneering role. I was ready to give it everything. But the reality hit me like a brick. On day 2, I was handed a KPI. 85 videos. Full-length. Polished. Professional videos. All to be completed in just 52 weeks. By me, alone. They wanted scripting, shooting, editing, music, talent. Everything. And the kicker. Their equipment was ancient. Their editing computers couldn't even handle 720p. Forget 1080p, that was science fiction to them. So I used my own gear. My own software. My own time. Still, I didn't complain. I was young, hungry, and wanted to prove myself. And for the first few weeks, it seemed like maybe, just maybe, my manager respected that. She smiled at my efforts. Encouraged me. Even told me not to worry about the numbers. Quality over quantity, she said. But everything changed. The day she found out I was a smoker. One of my colleagues face-bombed when I told her. "You've just made a huge mistake," she whispered. Apparently, our manager was notoriously anti-smoker, not just health-wise, but personal. Vindictive. The kind of person who'd rather fire you than see you succeed with a cigarette in hand. Overnight, her warmth turned ice-cold. Suddenly, I was late if I clocked in 5 minutes past schedule, even if I stayed 4 hours overtime every day. She'd complain I smelled like smoke. Accused me of being unreachable during legally protected breaks. Every little thing became an issue, but I kept my head down. I wanted to prove that my work spoke louder than her personal bias. 5 months in, I was summoned to the director's office. I knew it wasn't good when I walked in and saw her already seated, smiling that smug little smile she wore like a trophy. The director looked me dead in the eye and said, "We're disappointed. You've only produced 30 videos. That's far behind target." I tried to explain the reality. The equipment, the overtime, the fact that I was one man doing the job of a team of 8. I even mentioned that my videos had the highest view counts in the university's entire channel history. None of it mattered. My manager smirked. "We'll hire a professional production house," she said, dripping with condescension. That was her big plan. Fire me, outsource the rest. And that's when it hit me. They didn't have any professional contacts. But I did. One of my responsibilities had been building a vetted database of production companies for shoots that required more than we could handle internally. So before I walked out of that office, I made one final change to that database. I corrupted the contact details for every single production house. Except one. The one where my good friend worked, as a junior director. I called him that night. I told him, "I have a plan. One that helps you, and pays me." His company was solid, but he was still climbing the ranks. So I offered him a golden opportunity. "I'll give you the full playbook, everything they want to hear, everything they want to see. You win the pitch, secure the contract, and your company pays me a 15% finder's fee." He didn't even blink. Called his GM. Within 48 hours, they were pitching to the university. And of course, with my step-by-step script, they nailed it. My ex-manager and the director were stunned. These guys seemed to know their content needs perfectly. They got signed on the spot. Now, hiring a professional production house isn't cheap, especially back then. Each video cost double, sometimes triple, what they were paying me monthly. But hey, they got what they wanted. 50 videos in 4 months. I sat back, collected my 15% cut, and walked away with over a year's salary. Took a vacation to Bali. Used the rest to fund a prestigious film course abroad. And I thought that was the end. Justice served. Story closed. But karma had one last punch to throw. While I was in Bali, that same colleague who warned me about the smoking thing called me. "You're not going to believe this," she said. Apparently, my former manager had just been fired. And the director? Publicly humiliated. Turns out, the entire content creation project had a budget. About a year and a half of my salary. Thanks to my manager's desperate need to prove she could get it done without me. She had blown the budget by over 10 times. She didn't even get formal consent from the director before greenlighting the production house. She just approved it. Quietly. Desperately. The chancellor flipped. Heads rolled. My old manager? Gone. The director? Dragged into a public dressing down and nearly lost her own job. And me. I was drinking a coconut on a beach, watching the waves, thinking, all this, because you couldn't stand the smell of smoke. The most satisfying part wasn't the money, wasn't the beach, wasn't even the promotion my friend got to full director after delivering the job flawlessly. It was knowing that the very people who tried to throw me out like garbage had to spend 10x more money, only to end up disgraced and humiliated. They didn't just lose. They paid to lose. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't loud. It's calculated, strategic, silent. Give people enough rope, and they'll hang themselves. You just have to step aside and let karma work. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell us in the comments. What would you have done in this situation? And don't forget to subscribe, because we've got plenty more real-life revenge stories that will leave you speechless. Let me know if you'd like a version tailored with dramatic music cues, AI voiceover direction, or visual beat suggestions.